Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Creating Writing Workshop with our president, Patty Muenks. Just a couple housekeeping things. During Patty's talk, we ask that you stay muted. There'll be times when she does ask for feedback, and if you have something you want to share, then you can unmute yourselves at that point. If you have some questions in between, feel free to use the chat if you need to ask something right away, or if you have a technical challenge you'd like. Kim Carr, who's also here, or myself, Wanda, to help you with. The chat can also help you. We look forward to this creative workshop, and I'm going to try that again, creative writing workshop. I'm going to turn it over to Patty.
Thank you. Well, good morning. Thanks for being here. My name is Patty Muenks, and and this is an activity that I kind of put into my creative practice a couple years ago. I've always been a bit of a writer. I've always kept journals. So writing has always been part of my life. I've always written poems, short stories, different things like that. But when I became a visual artist, there were times where I would feel stuck in the studio, and sometimes just pulling out some paper and just kind of writing down some ideas really started to spark my creativity. Well, a couple of years ago, I was introduced to an artist. Her name is Sabrina Ward Harrison, and you can find her on Instagram. But she offers a lot of different free creative writing workshops where she offers just free prompts that, she'll do live workshops similar to this one, and she'll offer these different prompts to just kind of get your mind going. So I, pulled from her. I've kept a list. I actually have a long list of all the prompts just over the years, that every time she offers them, I'll write down the prompts and I revisit them and go back to them when maybe I'm feeling a little stuck or just want to get started. So these prompts really are an invitation for you to tap into specific emotions, feelings, utilize your five senses. Really think about the different prompts that I'll be giving you. Think about how can you respond to it with your different senses. And in that, for me personally, I found that I've been able to bring up certain memories that are associated maybe with colors or textures. And then in turn, I can take those and apply them to, either clay work with certain colors I'm using, mixed media work that I can kind of get into memories. And it's just a really, really fun activity. And I thought it would be neat to share it with Best of Missouri Hands. So I suggest I love having a writing tool. So don't type, don't use a screen, but literally have something in hand, whether it's pencil, marker, crayon, anything that you want to write with, any kind of paper. You can use lined paper. You can use, big sheets of butcher block paper, any way to literally use your hand as a way of getting thoughts out of your mind onto the paper. When we're doing these, there's really no guidelines. So if you want to just do stream of consciousness writing, that's fine. If you want to make lists, just take the prompts, sit with them for a minute and just generate the first thing that comes to your mind out on paper. So my plan for today, we have about an hour together. I have a handful of prompts here that we'll go through. I'll read them to you. I have them written down, so I'll hold it up so you can see it as well. And then it'll just be, taking a minute or two of quiet time. Write out your thoughts, anything that comes to you. We'll go through a series of the prompts. And then at the end of the workshop, we'll open it up, and anyone who would like to share any of their writings, no pressure whatsoever, but if you would like to share, then we'll have time. So does anyone have any questions before we begin? Okay. So I do want to suggest, let's just, kind of close your eyes a minute and just take a couple deep breaths and just kind of release the day, release any kind of responsibility you have, because right now it's the opportunity to just kind of give into this creative time. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So your first prompt: just for today, I want to allow. Just for today, I want to allow. Just go through and just write first things that come to mind. There's no right or wrong answer to this. Just let your imagination flow. Just for today, I want to allow. And to help dive deeper with that one, think about what I mean by that is, what I mean by that is, okay, I'm going to move on to the next one, and feel free to just leave yourself some space. This is an invitation that, you know, if you're on a good train of thought, come back to it, revisit it, add more detail and information. So your next one: I remember holding in my hands. I remember holding in my hands. Generate as many details as you can, whether it's where you were or who you were with. Okay, moving on. Your next one. 4 games I loved playing as a child. 4 games I loved playing as a child. And it could be board games, it could be games you played outside with neighborhood friends, family game nights. 4 games I loved playing as a child. Okay, I'm going to give you about 1 more minute with that one. 4 games I loved playing as a child. Okay, your next one. Remember, give yourself room so you can come back if you have more to add. I want to be softer with. I want to be softer with. This is a very broad, open-ended question. So what do you want to be softer with? To yourself, your family members? I want to be softer with. How is the time block seeming for everyone? Am I going too fast? Do you need a little more time? Good pace? Okay. Okay, here's your next one. 3 memories of blue. 3 memories of blue. Could be a body of water. Could be your favorite shirt from high school. The color of someone's eyes you love. 3 memories of blue. I'm going to give you about 1 more minute with that one. Okay, here's your next prompt. I have been built for. I have been built for what? What have you been built for? Okay, your next one. 4 sounds I never want to forget. 4 sounds I never want to forget. Take another minute with that. Okay, your next one. I am ready to release. I am ready to release. What are you ready to release? And I'm going to go ahead and add this one to the end of that one too. What I mean by that is, what I mean by that is, it's an invitation to get more specific. Okay, and here is your final prompt for the day. I want to say yes to. I want to say yes to. I'm going to give you about 2 more minutes, so you can either keep working with that one or reread some of the other ones and add some more details to those prompts. Okay, go ahead and start finishing up those last thoughts. I just had a flash of being in school. I wanted to be like, and pencils down. Okay, take a deep breath. We did it. So now is the time. I mean, if anyone wants to share any thoughts of just this process, how it felt, if you want to share any of the thoughts or memories or things that you generated during this, at this point now, I'm going to go ahead and just open it up to the floor. And if anyone wants to share anything, I mean, you can feel free to just unmute yourself. You could share something you wrote, share how this felt. Don't all jump to the mic at once now.
I'll jump in there with your
Okay, Kim.
with your prompts. I kind of feel like I kind of had like a common thread throughout there and stuff. And you know, I hadn't really consciously thought about this, and this kind of made me, you know, but like since my mom has passed, I realized, you know, life is short. I mean, I don't care if you live to be 100 or if you know, life is short. And before she passed, you know, I mean, I was kind of in the mind frame, work, 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 work. And, you know, and I love that like the last 13 years I've been working for myself. So I've gained a sense of it's stressful, but it's less stressful than when you work for somebody else who gets all the credit and all the pay and all that good stuff. But I've kind of come to realize that, you know, you need to take care of yourself too. And because always before I never really took vacations. I never felt I had time or money. And I've come to realize you don't really have to have a lot of money or, you know, you just need to carve out that little niche of time and stuff. And I always felt guilty in the past if I took time for myself. And so I've been learning to let go of that and go out and enjoy life and have fun when I can. And so it kind of, you know, it just made me, you know, realize that, you know, we really need to self-care and, you know, I want to try to be more in the moment and enjoy my friends and family and appreciate. I do appreciate what I have. I absolutely do. But I guess this kind of made me think about that, yeah. So thank you.
Well, yeah,
Thank you.
it's that nice, you know, that pause to really kind of stop and reflect. And it's amazing how when you take that time and you refill yourself, how much more than you're able to do to offer. So thank you for sharing that, Kim.
Miles wants to share too.
Oh.
Well, I'll say the same
He
thing,
wants
Kim.
more
Yeah, I'll say the same thing. I had the same, almost exact same common thread around wanting to spend more time with family and friends, wanting to do things I love, for a lot of the same reasons that you've come to that conclusion. But the prompts came to that same common theme.
And I want to be your luggage carrier, Wanda. You go on some awesome trip. You know, I will carry your bags. I'll do whatever you need me to. Take me along.
Can you
Glad
drag my
share
kayak
pictures.
so I don't have to paddle?
Yes, I will. I'll do
Well,
the portages for you.
it's funny, when I read the prompt about memories of blue, the first thing I thought of were some of the images from Wanda's when she went to Greece and that blue water. You know, I was like, I had the memory of blue of just looking at your pictures, Wanda.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny, one memory I have of blue, blue has never been my favorite color, but I've come to appreciate it because my first car was blue and it was a Ford Maverick, and I would get about halfway to work and it would break down and I would have to then run to work. And so that color kind of, but the funny thing is in college, um, one of my friends made a comment about my mom's eyes being blue. And I said, no, they're not. They're brown like mine. And they're like, no, your mom's eyes are blue. And I'm like, no, you know. So the next time I went home, I looked at my mom's eyes, and by golly, her eyes were blue. And I never, so you know, and I love blue eyes. Blue eyes are wonderful. But so yeah, that was one of my other memories of blue.
Well, we have time. Does anyone else want to share or share anything they wrote?
I'll just share these types of exercises have never been my favorite thing to do. So that introspection, I don't know what it is, but once I got into it, and I really, some of the questions I did pass over because, I can't quite get that deep. But, but, for me, that's not always been my thing. But there was enough questions in there to make me think and get a common theme out of it, even though it's not my comfort zone. So thank you, Patty.
You're welcome.
Pat, it looks like you had a notebook full. You want to share anything? You're muted.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have any trouble with this kind of thing because I've always kept a journal, just an online, I have in my writing app on my computer. So daily I try to write down 3 things that I'm grateful for. And then I just kind of write about my day. And generally my day, when I'm writing about my day, I'm writing about all my worries and all those things to, write down and then try to let go and just get out of my system. So I've done a lot of that, but a lot of the things that these prompts made me think of was similar to both Wanda and Kim, living in the moment. That's something I'm working really hard on, knowing that, the past is gone. There's nothing to do about it. And the future, you don't know. So the guilt and worry aren't going to change a thing. And all they do is rob you from the grace of the gift you've given for living today. And so that's something I'm working hard on, is trying to live in the moment. And then I have lots of things. I remember as a childhood games playing jacks, the old games, jacks and jump rope, and having tea parties and coloring in coloring books. And those were and I really enjoyed all those things. I lived in a neighborhood where there were lots of kids in these 6 little houses on our street. It was a Catholic neighborhood, so everybody had lots of kids. We weren't Catholic, but everybody had lots of kids. And but they were almost all boys, and the girls that did live there were way older than I was, or way younger than I was. So I played by myself a lot, and so I could play jacks and have tea parties and color and do all those things and jump rope, and I could do all those things by myself and still enjoy them. And that leads to one of the color memories for the color blue is when I was a kid lying on the grass out in my front yard and looking up at that blue sky with the white clouds and making pictures in the clouds. I used to do that all the time, and I could lay there for hours doing that. So, but trying to accept myself for who I am, not to always trying to change everything, and trying to remember to live in the moment, because like you say, life is short, and worrying about the past and worrying about the future does nothing for you. So it just, like I say, robs you of what you have right now. So those are the things that brought me to.
Oh, that's great. Thank you for sharing.
I
Lori,
still find animals. Sorry.
You what? What was that, Kim?
I still look at the clouds and try to find find shapes in them and stuff. So that's fun.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting with the games, like all the ones that I wrote down are like Hungry Hungry Hippos and Mousetrap and Connect 4, and they're all these brightly colored plastic things. That is pretty much what my childhood was, but I also can see that as being a big influence on my adulthood too. I've got lots of brightly colored plastic stuff in my life, and a lot of those games were like building things and getting things to fit together, and I do a lot of that in my artwork. So yeah, I was who I am now when I was a kid in a lot of ways, and I don't know that we always realize that, looking back. But yeah, you can see little inklings of future Annie in a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, that wall piece behind you, Annie, that's been catching my eye this whole time. That's
Yep,
gorgeous.
it's
And that
got
kind of
the-
looks like a connect or something piece, that could have been on a game board or something. It's
Yep,
beautiful.
exactly. Yep. And I think that it has acrylic yarn in it, so that's kind of plasticky too. So it all fits.
Absolutely.
Lori, would you like to share anything?
Well, we don't
Okay,
have sound for you.
it was kind of neat to think about my childhood and the games and the colors and memories and things like that. I have a painting in my house now that I had when I was a kid, and it hung above our, I'm getting emotional, I don't know why.
Oh,
We had this painting above our couch the whole time we were growing up. And when I moved to this new house, I found the painting and I got it reframed. And so it's in my house now. And it's blue, it's Lake Louise. So it's a beautiful blue lake. I don't know why I'm getting emotional. But anyway, it was good to,
Well, it's
it
been
was
a part of
good.
your family.
Yeah,
been a
I'm not
part of
getting
your family
all
for-
about that. I just when I started talking, like all of a sudden emotions just bubbled up. But it was good to write. And it was good to think about some of the things that you were trying to make us think about. And I, like everybody else, I'm trying to live in the moment. I'm trying to not worry about the past, not worry about the future. I'm trying to just experience what's here now, and I'm trying to say yes to more things.
Mhm.
And one of them is getting in on this today. I'm doing this.
Hey,
no, I'm so glad you're here today. Thank you for
Thank-
sharing that.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'd invite you to explore more on that, because when you are feeling those emotions, I mean, that is definitely an invitation to uncover more and, just really go with it and allow for that. And if you need to cry about it, be
It's
there in
okay.
the moment, feel it. And, it's amazing what you can uncover. And that, that's what I've learned with this, because this is something I actually was introduced to this during, the pandemic, when everything was just kind of locked down. And there was, I was searching the internet to find, Sabrina Ward Harrison she's an artist that I've known over the years. But when she, this was the first time where she did an offering like this, and it just stirred something in me. And I definitely cried over some of these entries and really felt this part of me come to life. And it's neat because you can take it and you can apply it further, passing this kind of emotion, these feelings on, whether it's your subject matter, whether it's the colors, the textures, even, Annie making that connection of the bright, colorful things
The
from your
plastic.
childhood. And, it's amazing what this kind of creative work can unlock for us. So I really appreciate everyone being here. And, I just,
Well, thanks for doing it.
I hope that you would, continue with that, because I really think that it offers a lot in our creativity.
Hey, Patty.
Yes,
Can you
ma'am.
show us? Can you show us one of your pages in one of your art
Journals.
where you've combined your words with? Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. Because I think it's Patty's been doing this art journaling and stuff where she's combining her words and her
Yeah, I
her
took her
creativity
art
and stuff.
journaling class.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
well, and it
fun.
really is. This was a page. This is a real neat one. So this was a page that I did in response to a poem. And on the top it says, when the crawling stops. So it was a poem about basically a caterpillar turning into a butterfly, but utilizing, finding the images. This is a great image of actually Audrey Hepburn, like flying through the air. And then I used I have some old book pages that I cut apart. And it says, the most fantastical things, bright, her own reflection shimmering with delight. So, and if you see, a lot of the times when I do my art journaling, I'll do writing on the pages first and then cover them up and layer them with paints and yeah. So this type of journaling. Now here's one of my other ones that I actually writed, and I'll take those sometimes and look through that and then create pages in my art journal based on things that I wrote previously. So here's another one.
That's a neat history.
Call an end to the way you had come. So that was something, one of my journaling.
Yeah, that's a good reflection of you and where you've been and where you're going. So I think it's awesome.
Yeah, and it's neat too,
it's
because I
awesome.
mean, I do keep a handwritten journal that I do every morning, and I date that. I mean, I've been keeping that for over 30 years, just new journals, just pretty much. I like the idea of Julia Cameron of The Artist's Way. She suggests a process called the morning pages, where that's almost like a brain dump. And I have journals that I do a lot of that in. But then with these, I don't date my pages in my art journal. And a lot of times it'll be things I come back to. This is a neat page. Actually, this was I took copies of some old, there's my grandma and grandpa on their wedding day. I made copies of some old photos and used those in my pages. So yeah, it's just always kind of, generating these thoughts, generating this creativity. How can I express emotions and feelings through paint colors or glaze colors on my clay? And it's just another, exercise that I use in promoting my creativity.
Wow. Well done, Patty.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, feel free, I mean, if
Hey,
you ever
Lori?
have any questions or anything too, I mean, feel free to reach out to me. So I'm always here and happy to help guide you in any way, moving forward.
Well, we appreciate that. And by looking at this group of ladies here, Lori, I would say that you are due to do a workshop for this group. Everybody else here,
Well,
has
I'm not
done a
going to say
workshop.
yes to that today, okay?
Well,
Think about
plant that seed in your brain, because Patty has done one on the journaling. Wanda has done on Meta and also on other social media. Annie just did one on color dyeing yarns. Pat is going to do next month. She's going to do one on the professional development grant that she won and what she's done with that. So I think we need to plant the seed in your head, Lori, that you
as soon as I
do
can
a
talk
workshop.
without crying, maybe I'll be ready.
Okay, well, you let us know. So
Okay. Okay.
well, I got it. I want to remind everybody, Art Smarts this weekend. And Lori, have you signed up for that? Are you attending?
No, I haven't. No.
Okay, well, I want to let you know that if you want to show up Friday, the hotel will still honor the special pricing. And if you want to come, we'd love to have you. You can register Friday there at the hotel and stuff. So think about that. Next month, we have a monthly encouragement meeting where we just get together and just chat about whatever. That'll be the first Tuesday of the month at 10 o'clock. And then, like I said, what is it? May 9th, Pat will be doing her presentation about what she's done with her or doing with her winnings from the Best Missouri Hands Professional Development Grant. So, and we will have
Ah.
workshops every month. So we are, you know, we are glad for this group.
Mhm,
We got
for
a great
sure.
organization, you know, so happy to, you know, and then this weekend too at ArtSmart, Wanda will be doing a workshop on meta again, if you didn't catch it. And if you're like me and you need to hear things a couple times before it sinks in, I'm kind of like, I have to hear something 7 or 8 times. So, you know, but
That's not
I hope
true.
no, I've taken one workshop. Yeah, no, I do. It's you know, if something doesn't pertain to me yet, so then I'll take a workshop again and I'll be like, oh, now I can apply this. And yeah, you know,
Mhm.
I mean, if it has to do with animals, I learn pretty quick, but on other things, it takes my brain a little bit.
You have to be interested.
But I am interested. It's just my brain doesn't, you know, so. But anyways, Patty, you got anything else?
No, that's it. Thanks for having
Okay.
me.
Well,
Thank
Yeah,
you,
thank
Patty.
you for doing it.
Thank you, Patty.
yeah, thank you. All right.
Good
I
seeing
hope
you.